Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of ttvv. First of all, I have to apologize uh, about my appearance tonight. I'm a little bit bloated because my mother made me dinner tonight. After I made myself dinner, she brought me over some stuff that just had a lot of dairy in it. So, as I've well stated in the past, dairy makes me bloated, which I hate. I still lost my 20 pounds, okay? But I hate being bloated. Now I know how chicks feel when they get bloated and retain water. It sucks. You just gotta wait till it wears off. But please forgive that. Okay. At least my hair looks good, as always. I told Mom, if something ever happened to me, you make sure that the Undertaker combs my hair the proper way, or I'll come back and haunt that asshole. So anyway, enough kidding aside. I'm going to talk about a few things tonight going on with me, what I've been going through lately, and how much better I feel. First of all, the nurse at my doctor's office confirmed that I did lose 20 pounds on my diet. I got a long ways to go. This is true. But I'm sticking with it. I'll still eat supper, time to time, but I cut out all pop, no bread, all sugar. I at least walk, I don't know if you can see it behind me or not. I at least walk at least a half a mile if my legs aren't hurting or my back's not hurting. When you work a long time, your body starts to ache. But, one good thing did happen, speaking about my body and losing weight. I did get carded at the casino when I went down to the races. The guy thought I was like 25. I said, God bless you. I've seen guys on the news here lately that are about my age. Damn, them guys look old. And because they're smoking and drinking and doing God knows what. See, I never did that. I don't drink, or I never smoked and I never done drugs. And you're better off for it. Because I know a certain girl that I got rid of recently. She was a pain in my butt for 5 years. She really played on my emotions, okay, during which I didn't know I was having issues from my past. This girl is a manipulator, a liar, and she plays on people's good intentions. And last week I had my breaking point. She asked me for a new power cord for her laptop and I had a spare. I bought her a bracelet. I took her to McDonald's, took her to Taco Bell one night and bought her a pack of cigarettes. And I got tired, to be honest with you, I got tired of feeling like a taxi cab in an ATM machine. And I wasn't getting any progress of. She doesn't have a heart. She pretends she has a heart while you're doing something for her. But with my therapy and my medication, that helps me think more clearly. Not just about her, but about other things. It was able for me to see, finally. I've been talking to another friend on Facebook about it, who knows her very well. And she's been telling me how bad the other girl is. But, see, guys have a hard time giving up on something that they tried so hard for. And finally, when a guy reaches his breaking point, he's like, screw it. I tried. And that's what I reached my breaking point. I wrote that girl and said, I just flat out said, I don't want to be your friend anymore. Or anything. And she got nasty with me. You know, I didn't give her the satisfaction of she was trying to get me to fall back into the routine of her games. Well, I just didn't do it. I didn't respond. She just not worth it. And it's no secret that I'm not a big fan of black folks. And before you get a hair up your ass, let me explain this. I don't like how young black folks act nowadays, okay? I just don't like the way they act. Older black folks who, and I'll give you a couple of examples. When I go down to the races, there's this old black fella, he sits with me. He says, "How you doing today, you big man?" I said, "Oh, I'm doing good." You know, I have no idea what his name is. He sits with me, and, you know, and we have a good time. And, then there's another old black guy from Troy. He has a cane, and, you know, he always sits with me and bullshits with me. What I have a problem with is people who act thuggish. It ain't a particular race that I have a problem with. It's how people act and what they say and how they present themselves, okay? If you're going to walk around with your pants hanging past your ass and walk around like the world owes you a living, and you never done nothing to try to succeed in the world, and you give me attitude about it, then I have a problem. And it just so happens that the majority of people who do that kind of things are either dumb white kids who just fall into the black life, thug life, basically, and young black guys who think the world... See, and I don't approve of black guys and white girls. I think it's wrong. I think it's wrong. Because, let's face it, there's nothing dumber on this planet than a young girl. Nothing more stupid than a young white girl between the ages of 16 to about 27, 28. And until then, there's nothing dumber on this planet. Now, don't get your panties in a bunch. That's not every girl, but let's just face the facts. You know, they're pretty stupid. And I'll tell you what. Let me rephrase that. They're impressionable. And it causes them to make really bad decisions that affect the rest of their lives. Let's say that. And you can't talk to them. So they act like they know everything and they don't know jack shit. So, you know, I just wanted to get that out there. Now, personally, I hate every Muslim. Now, that's one thing I will admit. You tell me you watched the movie Malcolm X with Denzel Washington, and tell me by the time you end up watching that movie that you don't hate fucking Muslims. Watch videos of 9/11. Watch videos of them beheading Americans. Watch the video footage of Benghazi. Watch the news. And sit there and tell me, or the Boston Marathon, sit there and tell me you don't hate them too. They're evil. Every single one of them are evil. Well, Tommy, don't come back to me and say, well, Tommy, it's just a radical. Radical my ass. They're evil. It's an evil religion. It's evil. Let's just be fucking honest about it. They're evil. The same way I feel about gangbangers or the Ku Klux Klan. That's evil. Okay, that's just fucking evil. Look, you don't hang people. You don't cut people's heads off. You don't stone a woman for sleeping with somebody, the death for sleeping with somebody. I don't believe in homosexuality, but I'm not going to criticize anybody. Oh, they don't come on to me about it. I mean, I don't approve of that. But over there in the Middle East, they hang guys for being with another guy. You know, I don't approve of that. See, that's evilness. And let's face it, evilness does exist. But also exists is a lack of common sense. And I blame that on these stupid ass phones, which I made it perfectly clear. I hate those damn phones. They have made people fucking stupid. They made people stupid, let's be honest about it. People have no social skills. They don't want to learn. All they do is type in something on the Google. They don't learn for themselves. People don't think anymore. People don't want to put in a hard day's work or know what the meaning of that is, or what the gratification of putting a hard day's work means. And if you're a real man and you work hard every day, I don't care what you do for a living, you put in your best effort, you're going to go home feeling pretty damn good. I don't care if you're a housewife and a mother. Every day you put in your best effort on something. I mean 100%. And you go to bed at nighttime, and that exhausted feeling you feel, that is really the gratification of a well-earned sleep that you put in a good day. And you're going to sleep and earn another good day. Life's that simple. You might get tired. You might get wore out. You might get frustrated. You know what? Tommy can promise you, if you put in your best effort every day, life is a lot easier in the long run. That I guarantee. If you're willing to go through any kind of suffering, any kind, you're willing to not give up on yourself or others. Times may get hard, money may come up short, but you'll be better off. And one more thing you got to do. I see a lot of people who don't do this. Follow your heart. I see so many people just doing and striving to have something, but not follow their heart or their dreams or the right thing to do. I see that so much, and I don't like that. And I talked about this in the past, that fake life. You can't live like that. That is not real life. If you marry somebody you don't love, and it's things like that. I'm just going to put it like that. If you don't follow your heart and do the right things, and you run away from what scares you, you're never going to be happy. Never. Do tragedies happen in life? Do bad things happen? Well, yeah. That is part of life. And you adapt to it, and you adjust to it, and you try to overcome it, and see how much better you are after it. Even a tragedy, even a mistake, even hard times can turn out to be a blessing in disguise. You might not see it. You might not even realize it. Does it happen every time? No. Maybe 4 times out of 10. Maybe more than that, maybe less. But you have to try your best. You have to follow your heart. You have to think things through. And you have to just be real in this world. Don't hide from it with drugs, with alcohol, with money. It's a shame people do that. Don't hide from it by being something Hollywood wants you to be. No. Follow your heart, follow your dreams, and listen to your mind. that tells you what's right and what's wrong. Now, so I got that out of the way. I did have a good night myself, other than eating dairy Mom brought to me. I am getting bloated. I had a pretty good night. I put in my Rogaine. I don't hide the fact that I use Rogaine. I've used it for a long time. Oh, excuse me. And, they're still there. I took a nice long hot bath. My back feels good. I think I walked a mile today on the treadmill. I took my medication. It helped me feel better. I did really well tonight on the races. A buddy of mine who was driving down there to races tonight at Miami Valley, he texts me. I have a free text thing here on the laptop. And he texted me, and I was on the laptop, and all of a sudden my little thing at the top screen here came on and said, "You have one new message." So I clicked on it, and he said, "Tom, bet on the fourth race, the number 5 horse." And I only had like a minute to get it done. I was like, okay, well, let's get ready to go race. So he must have seen something in the barn area or knew something or seen something in the program. I don't know what. But I was kind of weary because one of my favorite drivers was on the 9 horse. And one of my other favorites, a local boy, was on the 5 horse. So I thought, shit, I was going to bet the 9 horse. Because, he was going off 1 to 9, wouldn't have paid nothing. So I said, okay, man. I said, I'll get that bet in. So I hurried up and clicked on my account and put $50 on it. It was 10 to 1. I was like, God, man, I know this horse is going to get beat by that 1 to 9. Turn that 3/4 mark, hit the stretch, and I'll be danged if that 5 horse didn't just fly up the rail, and I won $585. And I won over $600 a night. After that big race, I was like, I'm quitting for the night. So I hit the withdrawal button on my account, so it should be on my debit card here in about 3 or 4 days. And I'll just take it down and put it in the bank. So that happened tonight. It's been a pretty good weekend so far. I got my new lawnmower, which I was thrilled to get. But ever since I got it, the weather's been crappy. That figures, huh? I got a Troy built mower from Lowe's. It cost me $1,300. Well, $1,287. Well, basically $1,300. And I like it. It drives good, it mows good, and it's brand new. So I usually don't buy brand new stuff, but living out here and all the land I got, I needed a brand new mower. Let's be honest. I got a lot of land here. So I did that. There's a girl that I met back in March, a pretty little redhead, and I'm gonna try to get a hold of her and take her out probably on May 7th, and I want to take her out to a nice dinner. And like I said, I'm done with that crazy other chick. That other chick, nothing but a money grabbing, drug addict whore. That's all she is. But this new girl, I really like. And I'll see where it goes with her. Hopefully it goes someplace. We'll see. We'll see. I really like her. She's a nice girl. Other than that, folks, I don't know what else to tell you. I said, I feel better. I'm not completely 100% yet, but I'm getting there. You know, I've become a strong advocate and for depression research because I knew something was wrong for a long time because of my past, the abuse and 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 everything that happened. I'm not going to go into detail everything in my past because most of you are already aware of it, or some of you know some of it, and or there are just, or I'm not comfortable revealing everything quite yet that I went through. Uh, but I'm getting better. It just takes a long time. It takes a little time, I mean, you know. And actually, how I got going with this therapy is when I almost died. See, there's been twice in my life I almost died. When I was 5 years, 5 years old, I got hit by a car, flew over the car, got knocked out. I lived on Ross Street in Troy, and you can look up the article in the Troy Daily News. I'm sure you'll find it. Mom has the article here someplace, and I remember hitting the ground. I don't remember hitting the ground, but I remember laying on the ground, waking up and seeing everybody stare down at me because I got knocked unconscious, and I didn't even get I had a bruised hip, and that's all I had, and that's pretty fortunate. Then there was last summer. Well, actually, no, there was 3 times. I'll be honest with you. It was '97. I was living in Inglewood in my bachelor apartment, and on Union Street down there, and I had a beautiful bachelor pad. Man, it was gorgeous, and I mean, it was gorgeous. And I was driving home to Troy to visit Mom, or I was going to work, one of the two. And this car stopped right in front of me. Right in front of me. Just stopped all of a sudden. Just no warning. I wasn't even that close to it. Just stopped. Just right in the middle of the road. And I swerved, and the whole side of the driver's side was smashed in. I mean, completely. I'm not talking about a dent. I mean, the whole driver's side was just demolished. I didn't have my seatbelt on. No airbag. I didn't even get a scratch. Then come last year, on my birthday no less, since I'm colorblind, I always got to cut up the steak and show it to Mom and see if it's cooked. Okay. Well, I cut off a big piece and I showed Mom because I was cooking supper for me and Mom that night. And I said, Mom, is it done? She said, yeah, it's done. So I made us 2 plates. I made Mom's plate, and thank God it was my plate. I'm glad Mom didn't get the plate I did this to. I covered up the mashed potatoes. I didn't mean to, but I covered the piece I cut up, which was a pretty big piece. I covered it with the mashed potatoes, and I took Mom's plate in, and I came back out, not thinking about the piece of steak that was covered up with the potato. So I went to eat a bite of the potatoes, and I swallowed that steak whole. With a piece I cut, didn't even chew it at all, and it got stuck right between where your neck meets your chest. Right in the middle. Okay. I spent 6 hours before I went and I called Mom, and I said, Mom, you got to come and take me to the ER. Well, I spent 6 hours before I called her, drinking everything I could to try to get it to move and go down. Okay, because it was lodged, and it hurt like hell. I ain't gonna kid, it hurt. I'm not even gonna be macho about it. It hurt. And I got it to move just a little bit, okay? And it moved. I thought, okay, I can get it. Every time I drank that water or juice or whatever I was drinking, I had to get it back out because, it wouldn't flush it down, so I got it back out. I regurgitated what I drank. Come to find out, when I went to the hospital after I called Mom, the doctor who's seen me a lot of times about my asthma, and I can't believe I have asthma, I never even smoked a day in my life anyway, she says, Tom, are you here for your asthma? Well, she called me Tommy. That's what everybody called me. So she said, Tommy, are you here for your asthma? I said, no, Doc, not this time. What's wrong? Well, she knew what was wrong, but she tried to get me to talk. I said, she said, you got something in your throat? Yeah. So they tried to give me medicine to loosen my muscles up so it would go down. No, it wasn't working. And muscle relaxers they gave me, just trying to get it to go down. No. So anyways, they checked me out, took blood samples and all this, said, hey Tom, you're fine and all. He said, but you do have a touch of bronchitis, and you're having an asthma attack on top of having this in your throat. Well, they took me to x-ray. Now, I'm a pretty healthy person, okay? I rarely ever really get sick except for my asthma attacks. Speaking of. Anyway, they took me to x-ray, and they x-rayed my chest and my throat. Doctor comes in about, I don't know, an hour or so later. How you feeling, Tom? Okay. Hey, Tommy, can you swallow? A little bit. She took a pen out of her doctor's jacket, and she says, you have a tip of a pen-sized opening in your throat that's allowing you to swallow and breathe. Oh, shoot. That's what I said, too. Oh, shoot. She says, if it moves, we're going to do emergency surgery on you and give you an emergency tracheotomy. Okay. And I knew what that was, watching a lot of old episodes of MASH. I knew she meant it was going to cut my throat and put a breathing tube in. I knew what she meant. And I was like, oh my God. That's what I was thinking. I said, I'm pretty fucked up. I said, not only do I got this in my throat, I'm having a bronchitis and asthma attack. I said, geez. My mother was sitting there worried. You know how moms are. And beat it all, this was my birthday too. And so it was a double whammy. So they admitted me. There's no way I was leaving the hospital. So they admitted me in the hospital. The night crew at the hospital was fantastic. A lot of hot nurses too. And I mean, good thing I was sick, or I would have been getting a lot of poontang that night, because them nurses were freaking hot. Oh my God, this one chick was gorgeous. And I'm sitting there with my mommy and got the steak stuck in my throat and I can't do nothing about it. Oh shit, she was gorgeous. Oh, my hair was messed up. I was like, fuck. She had no wedding ring on. I was like, oh my God. Of all the times to run into this chick, I mean, she was fine. Anyway, she come in taking care of me. And every time she come in, I suck in my gut. I try to play it cool. She knew I had a crush on her. So anyway, chicks know, So anyway, she was a sweetheart. She was really a sweetheart. Kind of girl you just want to love, So anyway, the other nurses, they were just all wonderful, okay? They were just all fantastic. My mother didn't sleep for a day and a half. She wouldn't let me go to sleep because she was afraid if I fell asleep, I would choke to death. Well, the next morning, they said, well, Tom, you're going to surgery. Okay. I just wanted that out of my throat. An hour surgery took 2.5 hours. They tried to force it down, but that thing was not moving. I mean, it was lodged. Seriously. So they cut it out. Well, when I went down to the surgery, the anesthesiologist came in and said, "No, Tom, we're going to put you to sleep." And, and me being me, I said, "Well, just make sure you wake me up. I don't mind going to sleep, Doc, but wake me up." He said, then he started laughing. Then he said, "Well, we'll wake you up." I said, "Are you giving me that stuff Michael Jackson died of?" "Yeah." I said, "Please wake me up." Hey, they laughed. And when you gotta have some kind of sense of humor in that moment, because I'm not a mean person. I just I want everybody to be comfortable around me. I understand people have jobs to do, and I understand people get frustrated, but I always want everybody to be comfortable and relaxed around me and be happy. Okay. And anyway, they wheeled me into the surgery room, and I didn't even care. I was that fucked up. And I remember laying on the gurney, looking up at the lights. I said, "Well, this sucks. All I was doing was cooking supper yesterday, and next thing you know, I'm in surgery." Well, they had to cut it out piece by piece. I think they said they went in my throat 5 times. Man, did that hurt for a couple of days. Oh my God, did that hurt. Where they had a knife in my throat, cutting it and pulling it out with, like, I guess pliers kind of thing. But hospital instruments. So they wheeled me back up, and mom was getting a little worried. He was going on 3 hours, with recovery and all, and supposed to be an hour. And mom told me later on she asked the nurse where I was, and the nurse said she didn't know why it was taking so long. That would freak any mother out. And so that kind of gives you a new respect for life and the decisions you make. Now, when they released me later on that day, it was I had surgery like at 7 or 8 in the morning, and they let me go home about 5:30 that afternoon. I had to pick up my prescriptions, and I was so out of it that and I'm a strong guy. I'm a macho kind of guy. I don't like looking weak, and I don't like feeling weak. And I was so fucked up that I had to use those little carts, that you drive around at Kroger's. We went to Kroger's to pick up my prescriptions, and I was so out of it that I had to use those little carts you ride around in, And I wasn't able to eat solid food for 48 hours. I mean, I can do that now on a diet, but damn, all I had was I had to eat everything soft, like pudding, ice cream. For 48 hours, 2 days, I had to do that. And by the time the second day was over, and I did it too, by the time the second day was over, I was sick of pudding and ice cream. And but I did get addicted to chicken broth. They had some good chicken broth at the hospital. And after a while, you get sick of that too. Then the next day, I was feeling a little bit better. The day after I came home from the hospital, I was still on non-solid foods, but I had to get out of the house. The day after I came home, I had a new lease on life. I had a new outlook. And I went down to Miami Valley. I spent all day there. That's the day I won. I spent $4 on a slot machine and won $229. So, that don't happen every time, but So I went down to races. I had $200 in my pocket and hit $229 on a slot machine, and I left with about $500. I watched the races, and I just wanted to get out of the house. I just wanted to, I was alive. I didn't choke to death. I felt good, and I had a new respect for life, and that's what I don't see. And let me go back up, and that's when I realized, I knew things were bothering me. I knew I had to address things that happened to me in the past. I had to address losing the girl I loved. I had to address the issues I had with being abused, being lied to, being manipulated, and being let down. And much, 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 much more. Worse things. And that's how I decided to go. I got tired of seeing my mother sad because I was feeling bad. That's basically how I started therapy. I didn't like seeing my mother worry about me like that. And I feel better for it now, to be honest with you. I still need to go to therapy. I still need to take my medication, but I sure feel better. And I have a new respect for life. And that's why I'm always trying to help people see the decisions they make and see the consequences of doing the wrong thing, and maybe seek help for themselves. Because depression is not just having a bad day. Depression is really worse than people realize. Because it's not physical. It's not a physical thing. I mean, it can contribute to a physical thing. That's what got me so heavy. Because I would stress eat. And it causes you to be timid, back away from things you want to enjoy, or put yourself in a shell. I don't want to live like that no more, and I'm not going to live like that no more. I went to my high school reunion 3 years ago. I didn't like how they had it, but I enjoyed seeing most everybody. I hope next time, if they have it the way they're supposed to have it, like at a barbecue at the park or something, which I think would be better. Have everybody in their family, have everybody playing softball and basketball and stuff. I think that would be fun. But we'll see. I might not go to the next one because I didn't like the way they had the last one. I mean, I love everybody I went to school with. I love every one of them. Some of them don't get me and understand me and get mad at me, but I don't mean I don't love them. I love every one of them like they're my family. They are my family. I had a really tight high school class. Even the teachers back then seen it. They used to say stuff to us back then like, "Well, you guys are one tight class." You had your people that I tried to explain to some people. Some people were closer to others than some were. You just have to respect that. It doesn't mean they don't love you as much or care for you as much. It's just maybe they have more in common, or maybe they, but all you can do is just care about everybody and not judge everybody. In my class, we didn't. Honestly, you had your some folks, but honestly, none of us were really that bad. I mean, you had your girls, and some were total bitches, and you had some guys who were total jerks to people. But there's always good in everybody. Well, I like to think that anyway. Maybe not, but back then I know there was. You can look in somebody's eyes and really see the real person beyond their mistakes, and that's how you gotta see people. Look in their eyes, and you'll see their soul. And you can tell if they got good in them or not. You know? I like doing these episodes of TTV because, I don't know, it's a way for me to sometimes show a fun side of me. It's sometimes I can show you the real me. It's a long time, people didn't see the real me. They saw the smile, they saw the sparkling eyes, they saw my hair slicked back, but they never saw the real me. I'm a big-hearted teddy bear guy. I make mistakes. I might say the wrong thing at times. I admit it. But I care. I care about everybody on this earth. I don't like what everybody does. I don't like everything that comes out, but I don't mean I don't care. I don't want nobody to hurt anybody. I don't want anybody to be mean to anybody. I don't want anybody to make mistakes that's going to ruin their life. I believe in simple living. I believe in being happy for others. I'll give you an example of something I did the other day. I'm going down to Dayton Raceway, which I really don't like. I miss my Lebanon track, okay? But Dayton Raceway is closer, and I like Miami Valley a whole lot better. The Miami Valley set up kind of the way my Lebanon track was. But I would much prefer to go to Miami Valley. But I'm getting to know some of the guys up. Now, sometimes there's only like 10 guys upstairs watching the races, okay? Maybe 7 or 10 guys, maybe 15 guys. And there's getting to be a regular crew of guys down there, myself included. And the other day I went and I was driving down Needmore. I didn't feel like driving down the interstate. I went down to Tip City and got off 25A and drove all the way down to Needmore. I just didn't feel like going down the interstate. And one of the guys I seen getting off the RTA buses, who's a regular over at that racetrack. And I said, "Hey, brother," I said, "you need a ride to the track?" "Yeah, man." So, And then that same guy won $300 yesterday. And, I'm always happy when somebody wins. I don't have to win I do. I win every time I go, but I don't tell those guys my secrets. But this guy, he bets a lot of money. And he had a $50 win ticket, and then I gave him a $5. I was like, "Well, all right, brother, way to go, man. You don't give it back to him now." And that old black guy was sitting next to me, and he wanted to see my program. So you have that camaraderie down there like that. Maybe it's not like that on a weekend, Friday and Saturday night, when you got the different crowd coming in. But when you go down there during the week, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and maybe early Thursday, you get your regular guys down there. But then on Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night, and maybe a little bit Sunday night, you get that party crowd in there. But anyway, I'm always happy to see somebody do good. But I like to do good myself, I'm making it my goal to get this diet done. I know I became bloated today because Mom brought me some dairy products today. And I'm making it my goal. I'm going to find me a good woman this year. I like the redheaded girl I met this past about 7 weeks ago. I like her a lot. She's beautiful. I love how she talks. I love her attitude. I would really like to get to know her a lot. And I hope she goes out with me again on May 7th. She's really nice. I really like her a lot. She has the kind of personality I would love to be around. And, you know, I don't know what else to tell you guys. I feel better. I care about you all. I enjoy doing the show. I enjoy making entertaining shows. I enjoy making shows like this. And I love taking suggestions for shows. Or, no. I'm sorry it's so dark. I got the light off in here and the sun's down, so I'll try to do more of these shows during the daytime where the sun's shining in. And I don't like how the light shines in the camera, so that's why I don't have the light on. It doesn't look right with the light on. It's too bright. So anyway, that's about it, folks. And I'll catch you guys all later, like I always say. My asthma's kicking in. I'm sorry, hold on. Gotta take my inhaler. I got my inhaler over here on top of the treadmill here. I gotta take my inhaler. And as I always say, I'll catch you all on the flip side of the midnight hour.